I'm going to go ahead and go over the simplifying fractions exercises with you. And if you do not remember what prime factorization is, you need to go back and watch the Math Antics video and refresh your memory. So we're going to go ahead and start factoring the two numbers 6 and 30. So we're going to start with the number 6. So let's go ahead and see what two numbers can I multiply, or two factors can I get to get my multiple 6? I know it is 2 and 3. And I can see that there are no other numbers. These are both prime numbers, because this would be 2 and 1, and this would be 3 and 1. So it goes against 1 in itself, then you know it's prime. So I'm going to put my equal sign here. And you can see our prime factors are 2 and 3. So now let's go ahead and do 30. Okay, I know that could be 10 and 3. And then there's 5 and 2. And so these are my prime factors because there's no other numbers that will go into besides 1. So I can write that down here. I have 2, 3, and 5. Now I just want you to know that there could be a 1. You could put a 1 here on both of them, because if you multiplied 1 times 3 times 2, it's still going to equal the same as 6. I'll explain that to you in a second. So now we have to go in and cancel out things that are similar, because we are simplifying. So we're canceling things that they have in common. So we can see they have the 2 in common, and they have the 3 in common. And we're left with a 1. So remember, we can't write a fraction, if you did my last fraction class, like this. You cannot do that. That is not a fraction. You actually, because there's nothing out of something, so that does not work. So what you can write here is you're going to have 1, and 1 times 5 is 5. So the answer is 1/5. Now I want you to look at this really quick. We have 6/30 is the same as 1/5. So if we got our fraction circles and put 6/30 on 1/5 of a fraction, it would be the same. And I actually would like to show you that, so maybe I will. But I want to show you something first. What number did we multiply 1 to get 6? It is 6. And remember, what we do to the bottom, we must do what we multiply the top by, we must multiply the bottom by, or vice versa. It's not what we do because we can't add it. We have to be multiplying. So 5 times, if I did that to the top, I did to the bottom. 5 times 6 is 30, and that is correct. So this answer is correct. So here's a model that I wanted to show you. We said that this is right here is 6/30. Let's just make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 30 here total. And here's this fraction is broken up into fifths. And if you see there, this is correctly simplified, because if I pick this up and put it on top of the other one, it is exactly the same. So that means even though that this is written as let me see if I can get my pen here. This is 6/30, and this is 1/5. They're actually the same number. I'm going to show you our next problem. Let's go ahead and try to prime factorize these two numbers. 15. And I know my two numbers I'm going to pick are 3 and 5, because this ends in a 0 or a 5. I know I could use 5, and I know those are prime numbers, so that's all I need there. And I like to order it from least to greatest, because it just makes it easier when you're crossing out common factors. So there's 15, and then here's 20. Again, I know it's going to be a 5, and then times 4. And I can see that that is a prime factor, but this is not, because I need 2 and 2. So if we wrote that up here, we know that it would be 2 times 2 times 5, because 5 times 2 is 10, and 10 times 2 is the same as 20. That's how we know it's correct. And we're going to cross out things that we have in common. So I can see I have that 5 in common, so that's done. And now I'm going to just write down what's left. 2 times 2 is 4. So they're saying that 15/20 is the same as 3/4. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check that with the picture. So let me just erase this one and go ahead and put that up here. And we have 15/20. I'm going to color in 15, but I'm going to add the other one first. So open into 20. And then this one is going to be broken up into, I actually forgot what it was. 3/4. Yes. Sorry. So broken up into fourths. So I'm going to color in. It says we're going to have 3 out of 4. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in first. 1, 2, 3, because it's 3/4. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this one on top. And it says that I have 15 of these. So this doesn't look like 20. Just make sure that it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'll put that there. And I'll color these purple so we can see the difference and see if we have 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now we can see that 3/4 is the same. So 3/4 is the same as 15/20. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear that up. And again, I can go back to saying what you multiply the numerator by, you have to multiply the denominator by. 3 times what is 15? And we know that's 5. So 4 times 5 is the same as 20. So that's another way that we can check it. Okay, let me erase that. We'll go to the next one. So here we have 8/48. So we're going to prime factor that. 8. I know 4 and 2. And I know that's the prime, so I just like to circle it so I don't get confused. So I know 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So there's my prime factors. Now I have to do 48. So what two numbers equal? If you don't know what it is, you can count, but you can see that this has an even number, so you can start with 2 if you wanted to. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. But if you can use a larger number, it's easier because you factor it faster. So I'm just going to do 2 times, and I know half of 48 is 24. So that's my prime. And I know that 6 times 4, oops, that's not a prime, is 24. Get that for you. Okay, so now I'm going to break this down into 2 and 2. And I know this is going to be 3 and 2. And I can check it really quick because 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 2 is 16. And then we can do 16 times 3. That's going to be 18. 3. And that's going to be 48. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 48. So we know our prime factors are correct. Okay, and now we're going to put them up here. And I put them in order. So 2 times 2 times 2. And then down here, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 2's. 1, 2, 3, 4 2's, and a 3. So we can see we're going to cancel out things that they have in common. 1, 2, 3. We canceled out everything on top, so we know this has to be a 1 because we cannot have a 0 there. And then we have 2 times 3 is 6. So they're saying that 1/6 is the same as 8/48. So we're going to go to our visual diagram here, and I'm going to show you that. So it's 48. I'm going to type in that number, 48. And then my other one is going to be broken up into my brain. Oh yeah, 6. There we go. Okay, and then we have 1 of the 6. So I'm just going to color that blue. And then they say that I'm going to have 8 out of 48. Let's see if that is true. And I'll color them yellow so we don't get them confused. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we can see that 8/48 is the same as 1/6. Okay, another way you can look at it to check it is what number times 1 would give you 8? There we go. And 6 times 8 is 48. Could you use this to prime factor 48? Yes, you could have. So you can start factoring by any number that will work. So I hope that was helpful.